Hello and welcome to the Black Dog Podcast, episode number 372. Did I say 72?
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. Brilliant. There you go. Hello, I'm Lee.
I'm him.
I'm Captain Chaos.
And I'm Elton.
And this week, in a change from our regular scheduled episode, which was going to be Warcraft, but we'll have to wait for that magical moment next week.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God. Burt Reynolds kicked the bucket, gave us an excuse not to watch it. So, yes, in honour of Burt Reynolds, who passed away last week, just after we finished recording, and no connection. I accept no responsibility for episode 371, killing off Burt Reynolds. Yes, we're watching a film of his, which is the Cannonball Run. It would have been Deliverance, couldn't find it. Would have been Sharky's Machine, but it was on Netflix and then disappeared. And then it would have been Cannonball Run 2 and Smokey and the Bandit, but we couldn't find either one of the first ones of that. So, so it's Cannonball Run. Here it is.
I've got Deliverance on DVD.
Okay.
I know that's like a week late, but yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I've got Infinity War on Blu-ray. Shall we review that?
Yeah, let's do that instead.
The
Should we
table.
do that? I'd probably enjoy reviewing that a lot more than I would the one we saw this week.
Yeah, and so much for your powder dry.
Yeah.
All right.
I think things are going to get awkward this week.
Just a little. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the usual thing. We're going to see how everyone's week's been, and then we're going to review the movie. Also, just before we get started, parish notices. Obviously, not next week, but the week after will be the Shindig. So, just a reminder, Nelly Dean Pub, 22nd of September. Yes, I know a lot of you will be staying in to watch the first proper episode of Strictly Come Dancing, but, try and rein it in. That's what iPlayer's for.
Yeah, we're getting 6 people turn up, I think.
Yeah, everyone else is going da 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 da. Strictly Giles dancing. Sorry, that was too good a gag last week to leave it alone. I have to bring it back.
Yeah.
So just a reminder, Nelly Dean Pub, Dean Street, the Black Dog Shindig, 22nd of September from 5 o'clock onwards. We'll be upstairs in the Nelly Dean Pub. Be good to see you if you can make it. That's the parish notices. Oh, one other parish notice. Me and Darren are going to see Predator. The Predator.
The Predator.
On Thursday, which means we shall release a mini-sode probably on Friday, because we'll probably record something in the pub afterwards.
Yes, we will.
So there'll be a pubcast on Friday. So if you're listening to the Predator cast, then you have to go back and listen to this cast as well, because it will probably jump the queue.
Yeah.
There you go.
And also, the Predator cast is going to be full of spoilers.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I'm not doing 10 minutes of going, what did you think? It was all right. It wasn't all right. And then just hang up, another beer. That seems like a bit of a pointless waste of time. Right, I think that's all the parish notices anyway. So let's get on and see how everyone's week's been. Let's start with you, Jim. How's it been going, sir?
Excuse me. Being a week of a few ups and a few downs of that seems to be the case at the minute.
Oh, yeah.
I'm currently looking at the marvellous prospect of having to get an electrician to come round to the house. I was on Sunday night, gone to bed, and then we heard a loud click in the house somewhere. We thought, that was strange. Was something falling off a wall. Got up, investigated. No, everything's in place. However, then discovered the bathroom lights have ceased to work. Anything else appears to be fine. Just the bathroom lights, which is kind of, okay, I'm not sure how you've done that or why. And damn it, I'm going to have to call a professional now, because I ain't fucking unscrewing wiring and screwing around with circuit breakers.
Oh, Jim.
That might be hazardous. Especially being a host of this cast. So yes, other than that, I've been suffering with a bit of a bad back after doing some gardening. which wasn't going away. I went to see the doctor, who gave me the useful advice of, it'll probably get better by itself and take paracetamol. It's kind of, well, thank you, stupid bitch. I could have done that without having to go to 5 years of medical school. I could have told myself that. Nice.
Nice.
But as it wasn't getting better, I actually got in touch with the guy who does actually proper sports therapy and stuff, and he came round. Nice man, ex-policeman. Lots of interesting stories about policing Middlesbrough. He's got a far more relaxed job now. But he says, oh, yes, you've pulled muscles in your legs here, and it's sort of, you'll connect up to your back, and kind of gave me a massage, which really fucking hurt. But it seems to have done the job and got things better. One thing I was aware of as part of the problem of why it wasn't getting better was that the chair I sit in all day in my office, the padding on it has started to go, so my back wasn't getting proper support. So I thought I can buy a new chair, which I thought, well, it's a bit of a shame because, office chairs are a way to scalp people, it seems.
Yes.
So, last time I bought an office chair, all these kneeling chairs were in fashion because they were ergonomic. 2 years later, I know everywhere has clearance on kneeling chairs. Thought, they don't work then, do they? As I suspected. Likewise, the whole standing desk bollock seems to have died a fucking death as well.
Thank Christ.
Actually work in offices going, fuck off, get a proper job.
Yeah, we got a lot of those discs.
I looked at like chairs with wire mesh backs and all this crap, and I was like, I cannot be fucked with all of this. The chair I've got is good, it's just not giving me support. I'll just actually buy a proper, like, memory foam cushion, and which there actually apparently are many. So I bought one of those, which seems to actually, fingers crossed, have done the trick. However, when I was looking through office chairs, and you look at the reviews to try and get, a sense of is the chair actually comfortable? Because God knows there's no way you can go and try the damn things, and obviously sitting on one for like 5 minutes in a showroom isn't really indicative of how good it's going to be, say, after a couple of months of sat at a desk. So, I'm waiting for these reviews, and really, really, folks, we need to start moderating reviews.
Yeah.
It is no use to me seeing reviews of a chair going, this is really comfy and good for my back. My 2-year-old son likes it as well. What? How is that relevant? People just sit down and write reviews, and I swear just any random thing that comes into their head ends up on the page and influences their star rating. It was kind of I saw a 1-star review that said brilliant chair. What?
Yeah, thanks for that.
But my favourite one was one for, I can't remember where the review was. I was trying to find it before we came on air. It seemed to have vanished into the ether. And I suspect it might have been a stress-related hallucination, but I swear it is true. And I believe it's probably on Argos. But the review was, a good comfy chair. The cushion is good and well padded. Although how it's going to smell after 10 years of me farting on it, nobody knows. Is that... Why did we need to know that? What kind of person is you going, well, how my chair smells is vitally important. Does it absorb the pump vapor and hold the smell? I mean, these are things I'd not even considered for buying a chair.
Well, you see, and that's why they're useful. You see, if you didn't have reviews that made you suddenly reconsider what you wanted from a chair... I mean,
maybe this guy's ahead of the curve, and next year when Which do reviews of their chairs, they will have fart absorbency levels. Guff Half-Life retention.
Guff Half-Life. Half-Life 3. Blimey, that's it. That's it, confirmed.
Guff Half-Life.
Guff Half-Life, yeah. Yeah. And, yeah, right. Well, so did you actually purchase a chair in the end after all of this?
No, I didn't. So I just bought. So I got like a back support memory foam cushion, and like a proper a back support seat cushion. And actually, that seems to be working really well. It's actually this chair's really comfortable again.
5 stars. It'll absorb your parts.
Yes. Well, I've not sniffed it yet, so but I'll maybe progress report next week.
Yeah.
How it's bearing up scorch marks.
Yeah, well, I'll see if I can set about making a jingle for that. Jim's chair fart sniffing corner. Burn marks with Jim Moon. Oh dear,
It's going to look like Marty McFly's run the DeLorean up the 88.8 miles an hour. There we go.
Yeah. Any second now, the DeLorean's just going to reappear.
Right up his jackson.
No. Anyway, cool. All right. Well, anything else, sir?
No, that'll do me for now.
That'll do you for now. So, chair burn marks. There you go. Right. Okay. Well, then we'll move on to you then, Elton. How's your week been, sir?
It's been full of work this time round. The reason why I was down your gaff last week was because I was working away in Kent. Because I was sent down there by the boss to clear up some work. So that's what I did pretty much for the rest of the remaining round.
Right.
And then on night call, just doing work of the week, it's just driving me bonkers. Lots of work. Mm. And then something happened in the village.
Oh, now, here we go. Are we talking trombone prostitutes or
No.
Bingers?
No, this is quite serious. It's probably people just bat their eyelids here, but it's someone got burgled in the village. Now there has been a couple of burglaries going on around the village, but this one was right over the road during the day as well. So it's kind of got everyone's back up.
Right. And
it turns out this was the little sod that ripped down my fence.
Whoa!
The
little bastard.
Wow. So you got a proper Nick Cotton in your village now.
Yeah, we certainly have.
Right, Ma.
They've been, without anyone else knowing, they've been kind of bullying this family over the road, and nobody knew about this. Nobody knew about this at all. They go on walks, and they've been kind of hassling them on their walks. Nobody's seen this. They haven't mentioned it to anyone. They've just been, waving it off, and then the little sods have been working out when they're leaving their house for their walks and realise, well, hang on, if they're on their walks here, they're not at home, are they?
No.
So they broke into their house in the broad daylight on the Saturday. Luckily enough, their next door neighbour has CCTV. And got beautiful shots of them. So I'm just hoping to hear the news that a little sod has been banged up for many, many years. Probably won't. Probably get off with like a community service. Probably get a holiday in Florida, and have to go to Disneyland for his woes. But at least they got that little fucker, that little tosser.
Yeah, you have to be careful because you're starting to sound like a Daily Mail reader at that point. Like,
am I?
Yeah. Like, he'll bloody get off with nothing more than a slap wrist. God, we're like that in my day. Bring back hanging.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to go that far. I do apologise.
That's fine. It's just.
But yeah, it's nice to hear that little toss. I'm trying to think of stronger words. I shouldn't really say. Yeah.
Cunt.
What on this podcast? I think restraint is gone.
I'm also trying to self-regulate my swears as well, but it's really hard when there's a tosser around and you're speaking about a tosser. So
hold on, that means that there's two. Hold on, hang on. It's hard to do it when there's a tosser around and you're speaking about a tosser. So which one of us three is the tosser?
No, in the village. In the village.
Yeah, but you said there's a tosser around and you're speaking about a tosser.
I meant stop.
Which one of us? Which one of us was it, Elton?
In the village.
A little Britain sketch.
Yeah.
Oh, I am the only tosser in the village.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That'll look interesting on the notes for this episode, won't it? So Elton's village tosser.
Yeah, that's it. It's been quite a quiet week because I have been working all the time, so that's quite dull to speak about.
No, that's all right. I understand. I'm not going to be speaking about my work either.
Yeah.
Because that's freaking boring and all.
I could tell you that I got a stone chip in my windscreen, but that's dull as well.
Yeah.
Stone chip in your windscreen and a big chip on your shoulder.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Actually, not so much a chip, more a vast cauldron of French fries by the sounds of it, Elton.
Okay. Well, there you go. So, right, okay, well, we'll move on to you then, Mr. B. How was your week?
My week's been really good, actually.
Yeah?
Yes.
Because it's your birthday. You're getting old.
I'll tell you what, shall I turn my back so you can really steal my thunder? Yeah, so I don't see you stealing my thunder. My birthday, I was supposed to announce it, you know?
All right.
Rewind.
I didn't realise.
No, 49 times, and now, oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck off. Yes.
Do tell us.
It was my birthday this week.
Was it, Dal?
Yes, it was, Lee.
I'm so glad you told me. I didn't know.
You didn't know?
No.
You turned up to the bloody drink.
Yeah, I know.
So, yes, my birthday, which was celebrated with dinner and chocolate cake and all kinds of lovely stuff.
None of which I gave him.
No, none of which he gave me at all.
No.
But, we did go out. Of course, there was the beers that we had in the Imperial.
We did have beers in the Imperial.
Yes. And, all the others turned up there. That was nice.
Nah.
Lovely evening.
Yes.
Very, very good.
Yes.
Got to see, of course, I got myself a present before anybody else got me one.
Yeah, which just happened to be my present I got you.
I know. It's all right.
Fuck
I was gone back. I've got that money is now going on Deadpool 2 when it comes out.
Okay.
So
so mine's the special present.
Yours is a special one.
Nice.
Yes. But I did watch it again.
Yes. Go on, tell everyone what it is.
Infinity War.
Yep.
Yes, I did watch it, and I have to say, there was a point in the film where it got very dusty in the room, and it didn't get dusty in the room when I first saw it.
No.
But now I'm sitting in the living room and the hype's gone, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there just watching the film, taking it in and really enjoying it. Yeah.
In fairness, it gets pretty dusty at the end anyway.
It certainly does, yes. Sure, spoilers. But no, there is one particular dustworthy moment in it for a certain character.
Yes. Was there man blubs?
There was almost man blubs, but I fought it back. I
fought back the man blubs.
I fought back the man blubs. I was incredibly English. Yes. So yes, so that was good. I've got to say, watching it a second time, I thought it was even better the second time.
Yeah, I guess when you know which way it's going, it kind of helps a bit.
Yeah, you concentrate more on the performances. And, I think everybody all round in that film,
and Mark Ruffalo's floaty head in that costume.
Yes, exactly. Mark Ruffalo's floaty head.
That was the worst bit of comping ever.
Yep, it certainly was. Enjoyed that. Very good day, or good couple of days there.
Sorry about that. I was fly. Go on, carry on.
That's all right. I've actually got a list of what happened.
Oh my God, you got a list?
No, it's just so I could fucking remember it. Infinity War Blu-ray birthday pub. Yes, of course.
Age does that to a person, you know, Dal.
It certainly does. And like your good self.
Yes.
This week, I sat and watched a couple of episodes of The Rain.
Ah, so you know that thunder stealing you were talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, but you see, it's not your birthday.
No, that's fair enough. Go on. No, that's cool.
So, I could see what you mean. Within 2 minutes of that show starting, right? I wanted the small boy. I wanted something to happen to him. I'm thinking, please don't make him go to the bunker, right? Just please, I don't know, because that character's a little shit.
Okay, do you want to explain the plot? Because most people don't know it. It's on Netflix, by the way.
It's a Netflix original, so it's free to download and stuff like this. Well, it isn't if you're paying, I suppose. Your subscription.
Skip to the end.
Basically, it takes place in Denmark.
Yes.
And what happens is they find that in the rain there's a disease, a virus, and it makes people violently ill and then
kills them.
Die. It can affect sometimes people at different rates as well, of course it affects all standing water that's outside. So any lakes, ponds, and stuff like that, people generally try to steer clear of. And the focus of it to begin with are two children, Simone and Rasmus.
Rasmus.
Yeah, who are taken to a bunker by their parents, and then their dad leaves because he's the only one that can find a cure for this thing. Apparently, he's the only one that can help.
That's right.
And he leaves the mother and the two children in the
this
bunker.
super duper high tech bunker.
Yeah,
with 5 years worth of food.
Indeed, yes, and power and water and stuff like that. Of course, things go even more pear shaped, and it's due to Simone and Rasmus themselves, because Rasmus is a little shit who grows up to be a bit of a twat anyway. I only want to see the sky. And Simone kind of just doesn't listen to what people tell her, and she goes and does stuff anyway.
It's almost
don't go outside, Simone. Oh, I'm going to go outside.
Yeah, it's almost pathological.
Yeah. Oh, someone's banging on the door. I'll tell you what, let's open up the bunker and let's see who's out there, because there'll be nice people, surely, in an apocalyptic situation, right, where people are desperate for food and shelter and shit like that. Of course, they're going to be no problem.
No.
They'll probably pop round and ask if they can borrow a cup of fucking sugar.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, look, I've caused the death of somebody. Oh, fucking hellfire. So, I think you're right. For every good idea it has, there's something stupid that happens in it.
It was... I mean, this is kind of getting into my week, so I might as well jump in. But it's like... The problem I had was... The story is so determined to get to a certain point that it makes the characters do stupid things just to get them to that point.
Yeah.
It's the opening 5 minutes of that show could have been a whole episode. But instead what happens is it goes, no, we're going to rush this.
Yeah.
And so what happens is, and this is obviously a spoiler if you've not seen it, but it is within the first 5 minutes of the show. The dad comes and gets Simone and has in the car Rasmus, and then it does this thing which I hate in every show that does this. Lost, anything which is serialized, which just wants to put mysteries in there.
Yes.
As soon as you do that, I'm already on the way out the door, because the dad gets Rasmus into the bunker with Simone and the mum.
Yep.
The mum, whose name we don't even learn, because she's out of it in seconds.
She's chopped liver. That's it.
And essentially, he goes, he comes down, and the rain starts happening, and everyone starts screaming, and there's a pile up on the motorway, and people are dying, and all this kind of stuff. Within seconds, the newscasts are going, oh, there's something in the rain, panic, 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 panic. They all get down into the bunker. And then, straight away, it's like the dad immediately puts on a hazmat suit and then turns around and says to Simone, protect Rasmus, he's the key to it all. And she goes, what do you mean? And he goes, I can't talk now, I must go. It's like, where are you going to?
Yeah.
Where are you going to that 3 more minutes of explanation would not solve this problem? It's that total lost... Clang!
Yep.
Here's a mystery. Clang! It's put a sign up, put a fucking neon sign up saying this will be important in the future. Send off a fucking klaxon.
Oh, it's like that other thing that people do. Oh no, I can't explain now. Come with me, but I'm going to talk bollocks to you for the next 6 minutes.
Yeah,
right. Bollocks which could have been filled with actual useful information about why I'm asking you to come with me.
Yeah, and then he goes, "Don't let anyone in." Don't do anything, and we've already seen they have to go through this complicated hazmat clearing thing. They get hit with UV rays and steam and all this kind of stuff.
Yep.
And they go in, and then immediately they're here. The dad literally goes out the door in 1 second. He goes out the door, and then within seconds of him going out the door, you hear on the door. And the mum's going, no, it's not your dad, because your dad knows the code to get in.
Well, it's not even a code, it's biologically set, so he can put his hands on the reader and it will let him in.
Which is a problem in the rain. given he can't take his gloves off.
Shh, shut up, that's why.
Well, that's the other problem, all these problems. But anyway, and so Mum turns round, makes a cup of coffee, and within 2 seconds... Now, bearing in mind, this is literally the first 5 minutes of the show. Rasmus and Simone have gone through the decontamination thing the other way, gone up the stairs, and happily slapped the door open.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? And then Mum goes out, saves them, dies in the situation, and then it goes to, and now we're going to show Simone and Rasmus for the next 5 years in this episode. And it's like, really? We're going to have the world's dullest next episode. And every 30 seconds or so, Simone suddenly turns around and goes to Rasmus, who is a little 6-year-old boy at this point, goes, you stay here. I'm just going to put a hazmat suit on and go back outside. Why? I'm going to go and find Dad. Where? He's told you nothing. You nothing. But I've got to go find my dad. So hold on. So your dad's told you to look after your brother. Your mum's dead. He's in a bunker. And you're going to do what? And so she puts on a costume and goes up to the door and then freaks out and panics. And it's like, how am I supposed to be invested in this? This girl is literally pathologically primed to kill herself at every single turn. And that shit happens again and again and again in every episode. Something's going to happen.
Okay, let me ask you this, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Okay, so put yourself in that situation. You are in a bunker, right? Okay, you know outside the world has literally fallen apart, right?
Yes.
You don't know what's been going on out there.
Yes.
You're going to go and search for life.
Yes.
Right? Now, you haven't got any weapons.
No.
You've just got your hazmat suit.
Yes.
Right? So, do you, A, go out around about 10 o'clock in the morning when the sun is high in the sky, you know, and you've got a bit of daylight left, and avoiding dodgy-looking buildings, right, and just have a scout around the area? Or do you wait until 2 o'clock in the fucking morning when it's pitch black, right, when you've only got a torch beam to see by?
Going into the creepiest fucking room you can and then shouting hello.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it was like, oh my God. I mean, I think my fuck off quota went through the goddamn ceiling watching this show.
Yep.
I did 4 episodes and that was enough for me. I've given it half a season. There was stuff that was happening in it that just boggled the fucking mind at every step. Like, there's this other story. There's this bunch of troopers who've turned up, and Simone and the brother sort of join up with them, and Simone knows where other bunkers are. And there's this whole thing of, well, they haven't got any food, so they move from bunker to bunker, and that's fine. But in each bunker, there's like a bunch of hazmat suits. So do they? You know, all the troopers wear the hazmat suits so they can travel during the day and the rain and all this sort of stuff that they have to keep, you know, panic, the rain's coming, we have to hide under somewhere.
Yeah.
Or do they put on the most absorbent, woolly clothes you could possibly find and then go wandering in a straight line?
I'll take woolly for 5, please, Lee.
Then you get 5 points, because that's exactly what they do. And then they go to another bunker where there's a whole rack of fucking ABC suits.
Yep.
And still the fuckers go, oh, look, there's some food. Yeah, there's also some hazmat suits, guys. You know, the thing that will protect you in the outside.
Do you know what? I'm waiting for the episode where they find the armoured personnel carrier, but then they choose a skateboard instead.
Well, there is one point. At one point, there's these kind of guys who are running around who are trying to find people, slavers.
Yeah.
And they kill the slavers, and the slavers have turned up in a fuck-off-sized Land Rover, tooled to the brim with weapons and gear.
Drones and stuff
Drones,
like that.
the whole 9 yards. And these guys just kill them and then don't get in the car. But you know what they do? Oh, you know what they do? They do get a wheelbarrow and put one of their own in it.
Oh, well, there you go. That solves everything.
That solves everything.
Yep.
I mean, it was an intriguing idea, but I can't abide. Here's a mystery. Here's a mystery. Here's a mystery. Here's an assumption. And here's a bunch of characters who know None of it. It's like there's one scene they go into in I think the second or third episode they go into a city.
Yeah,
and they go
to avoid the city.
Yeah,
was it Copenhagen? They have to go through.
And they go into Copenhagen, and there's a point where there's a bunch of scavengers who are running around and, all this sort of thing. Firstly, quick question, how are the scavengers surviving if there is absolutely no water?
Yeah.
Right? That's the first problem. Second problem, when Simone and Rasmus get split up, one goes left, the other goes right. Do you think that the one who went right, which is Simone, would have the wherewithal, once she has escaped the person who is pursuing her, to go back the way she came? Or does she, in fact, carry on going right in a straight line until she hits a fence which has a big fucking sign on it saying quarantine zone? And then does she go through that to talk to a kid on the other side?
I'm going for follow the path to the fence with the quarantine sign on it.
In the opposite direction to where you want to go, and just keep going to the place that just says, ta-da, guess what?
Death zone.
Yeah. Every fucking step of the goddamn way. Anyway, the rain. Sabine, who was at your birthday thing, said that she enjoyed it, but everyone else was putting it down and she didn't know if it was just her liking it. Yes, it's just you liking it.
Sorry, Bina.
Sorry. Because it had some great ideas and some of the characterization is fine, but the plot stuff, you can see it coming from a mile away. How about this? Jim, Elton, here's a little thing for you. See if you can predict one plot point, right? Just from what I've described, right? There is a lady who's managed to keep with her group of troopers because what she's done is she's made herself she's ingratiated herself into the group of troopers by having sex with the leader, right?
Gru-gru-pa, true-true-pa.
Gru-gru-pa, true-true-pa. Yeah, exactly. And then, right? In episode 2, right? Rasmus takes a shining to her. And in episode 3, they're starting to get closer together. Do you think that is going... How do you think that's going to play out, seeing as there's the protector soldier with the gun, and then there's Rasmus, and then there's this lady who is basically having sex with the protector soldier for purely selfish reasons. Do you think that's going to work out? Do you think it's perhaps going to be a bone of contention further down the line?
I think that's straight to the clap, Kimmick, come Friday.
The Rain 2 yogurt pot.
The pain.
What I want to know is, in this apocalyptic world, was part of this virus an obliteration of the memory of umbrellas?
Yeah.
Maybe my English perspective here, but in this kind of scenario, he who has a water pistol and an umbrella is king.
Yes.
Well,
strangely enough,
this goes to prove, right, the whole stupidity angle, right? For every good idea, there's a stupid one. These people that are the slavers that they come across in the woods, they spot. Their drones go on heat signatures, right? So when they release the drone, the chief soldier, the chief trooper, right, suddenly pulls out this plastic sheet, which is a thermal. It's a thermal blanket, so it stops the heat from getting
plastic sheep.
Yeah, plastic sheep.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
It's a thermal sheep. It's a heat seeking sheep.
Stag do.
Yeah, there we are.
Oh, stag you.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
go on.
But he pulls out this sheet and he puts it over them, and it stops the drones from being able to see them because the heat can't get out. And it's like, no, that's a good idea. But like you say, where's the fucking sports umbrellas? What's the matter? Does somebody burn Sports Direct to the ground? Is that it? You know, they've got like about 4 billion of those bastard things in that store. You could have got them from there.
Yep. I mean,
and they're big fucking cups as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing with the whole idea of the rain infecting the water table immediately just means straight away if a puddle can kill you, then and there is no water, there is no food in these cities, then the roving rampagers who are in this city are dead. because they've been in this city for 5 years with no food or water. How long is it you can go without any water? About 48 hours, isn't it?
Yeah, about 2 days max.
Yeah. So how is everyone going around distilling the water?
I think they are. Yeah.
Well, then where are they getting the fuel from?
Oh.
And how this water? What happens when you get the morning dew? I mean, what happens when people breathe out and breathe in, and there's moisture in the air?
You see,
we're getting into the M. Night Shyamalan, The Happening era, really, aren't we?
Yeah, well, exactly. Or Signs, the end of Signs. It's like if you're an alien that doesn't like water, you're landing on a planet that's made of water, but the air has got water in it. It's like, and that's
don't land in Shanghai.
Yeah, exactly. Don't land in Singapore where the humidity's at 80%. You're fucked. I mean. And then they find out that Copenhagen has actually been walled off, and there's a wall that's like 50 feet high or 100 feet high or something like that. It's like, what, and the clouds can't go over it or something?
Apparently not.
Jesus Christ.
I think I've already figured out the trick where Rasmus is concerned.
Go on.
You're going to find out, I reckon you are going to find out he's immune to the disease because he's the key to it all, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Always one person, isn't there?
Yeah, it's always manifest destiny. Here we go.
Yeah, whatever. I literally, by the time I'd hit my 87th old fuck off.
Yeah.
Especially seeing as Simone seems to have a death wish. It's like people say, don't talk to anyone because if you do, you're going to get caught by Ravengers. And the first thing she does is sees a kid and goes, "Oh, hello, everybody." It's just like, fuck off.
Shall I talk about something even worse than the rain?
Go on.
This week, I took the plunge, and I've never watched one of these movies before.
Go on.
So I thought I'd take the plunge in the 5th of the series. And I watched part of Sharknado 5.
Part of.
I didn't make it through the film.
But how would you know what was going on, having not seen the first 4?
I didn't.
I'm sure these are very careful, complicated, plotted movies.
Well, it's like there's one bit where
there's a Sharknado universe.
Boy era, Darren.
You've got this bit where you've got the main guy and the main woman who sort of like the I think
you've gone from Phantom Menace right to Return of the Jedi, mate.
Yeah,
you don't know what's going on.
I have, but you've got them both standing there, and the Sharknado, they're getting attacked by the shark god or something.
What?
And all of a sudden, the woman takes off like fucking Iron Man. It's like, I'm sorry, I didn't get the memo on this.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he might be having a stroke. Are you sure you saw something?
Yeah, honestly, put it on, right? Go to Netflix and just watch.
Shark God.
Yeah, it's something to do with the shark god, because at the start of it, they're looking at these sort of like hieroglyphics on a wall or these cave paintings. Sharknado 5.
Fucking hell.
Sharknado 5, Shark God. Oh, look at that. It's come up automatically.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm liking the special effects. They're looking extra quality.
Yeah, see the woman in the pink top there.
Why is there a shark in deep space eating a spaceman?
Because there is. I found out with these movies, it's just fucking accept it, you cunt. That's basically what it says to you all the time.
Sharknado.
It's just fucking accept it. All right, stop being so sad.
With all of these is that they're supposed to be stupid.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? It's supposed to be stupid, and it's written by people who don't know how to write that.
Wow.
It's written to be bad, and it's written so badly.
Is that Kirk Cameron?
Yes. No, not Kirk Cameron. That's the bloke from 90210, the original 90210.
Oh, right. Not... Okay.
And there's all these celebrities that turn up for like 2-second cameos in these films.
Wow. And how long did you last with this film?
I lasted. I mean, it was only because Ree's like, "Go on, I dare you, go on, just watch it a bit longer." I lasted something like, I think it was 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was it. I couldn't take any more. I'd had my fill. You know, I had to get it turned off because it was just shit. It really is shit. It's not even shit as in, oh, look, that's a good shit because that's funny. isn't it? Look at the way they've written it. Yeah, it's supposed to be like that. And it's like, well, no, it really is shit.
It's just shit.
You know, it's like we said about Mel Brooks couldn't write, sort of like, when he did Spaceballs.
Yeah, he couldn't do a decent parody because he didn't like the source.
Exactly, right? He didn't understand the material, right? Which is why his parody, as far as we're concerned, failed. That's this. It's got... It's just terrible. It's not terrible, funny terrible. It's just terrible. It's tragic. Sharknado is terrible. News at 11. Yeah, it's
in other news. Water wet, sky blue.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You know, all these people say, "Oh, just it's supposed to be." That's a bit of a laugh. It's not a bit of a laugh, right? You are perpetuating this fucking stream of fucking shit by logging in for a laugh to watch it.
Man alive.
It's not a laugh.
It's not a laugh. Why? I still don't understand why the shark's in space.
I have no idea.
Well, by 5, they've got to go by law to space. As must.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I've just found that picture of him in space.
Yeah, on a jetpack, and there's a shark coming up to get him in orbit.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
I bet the shark's roaring as well.
Do you know it's not just jumped the shark. The shark has jumped it.
Yep. Wow. I mean, maybe we'll do it. Maybe that's it. Actually, I'll tell you what.
You want to do 1 to 5?
No, I was going to say. There you go.
No. Remember what happened with Twilight?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I will punch you. I will fucking kill you. I will reach across the table. Oh, maybe you didn't give it. Maybe you didn't put enough effort into watching it. I beg your fucking pardon.
You fucking what? Yeah.
I don't think you gave it enough of a chance. Fucking come out.
Yeah, maybe we'll make that a Patreon special. Then people could pay for it.
It's a torturous. Lovely.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Anyway, maybe that's it. Maybe I'll make a Patreon platform that just says Sharknado, and if everyone puts in for it for 1 month, we'll do a Sharknado special.
Okay.
Can't we do a paid thing on Libsyn? Isn't?
Oh yeah, we could do. Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we'll have a little think about that. A sponsored Sharknado watch.
Christ almighty.
All five on the bounce.
No, off.
It's only 5 hours. You could do it in a day, and then we can just do a.
That's a day I won't ever get back again.
No, you won't. But you're not getting any younger, Dal. So let's use up the ones that you still can afford to lose.
Screw that.
Quickly book him up.
Yeah, I'm going to book him up. Yeah. So there you go. Let us know on the Black Dog Facebook group if you think that we should do a Patreon-driven Sharknado thing. What?
What are you fucking doing? I'll tell you what, I'm in a car that's speeding downhill. What I'm going to do is, I'm just going to destroy the brakes. There you go. Shall I do that? Shall I? Yeah, that'd be a laugh, wouldn't it?
Or to quote, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I cut the brakes, wild card, bitches.
Fucking hell.
Do let us know, anyway.
You are so going to regret this.
Yeah, I know. But I say
Stop.
these things.
He just doesn't care.
I don't care.
Just fucking stop, man.
Well,
just walk away.
No. I say these things now because I know that when it comes to the moment, I'll regret it. But the point is, it's quite funny to watch your pained face at this point.
Fucking hell!
Yeah,
no.
He's actually holding his temples. He's got sweat. He's got swelling temples.
The shark sweats. Look at me.
Shark sweat.
Shark sweats now.
I'm sure Ree's got all of them.
No, she hasn't.
No?
But we know that every single one of them is available. I think it's on Netflix.
Oh, well, there you go.
1 to 5. Or
there you go.
It's on Amazon. One of the two. Let me just check that.
Did you do anything else this week, by the way?
I don't know. I think that's it. It's blotted. I tried to blot this from my memory so much it blotted everything else out. It made me remember that. That's how shit my brain is. The stuff it should be blotting out, it doesn't. It just blots out all the good and just leaves the shit.
It consumes all. Nice. Well, there you go. Well, there you go. So my week. Well, obviously I saw the rain, and I tried. I really tried, but as we've discussed, it was just bad.
Yeah,
I can't do it. No, I can't watch it right through to the end. I've given it half a season. That's enough for me. I don't even give the things I like half a season most of the time. What else? Oh, it was my anniversary. 20 years.
Congratulations.
Me and Carol married. So so that was good. So we went to a restaurant in the Shard called Obelisk, which is actually 35 floors up in it. Oh, there you go. Sharknado, Sharknado 2, Sharknado 5, Sharknado 3, and Sharknado 4. Yes. Oh, and Jaws. There you go. Yep, there you go. That's it. All 5 sold. There you go. Just put it on the Facebook group if you're willing to take part in a Patreon paid event, ladies and gentlemen. We'll sort something out, because I'm sure we can do live viewing as well on Patreon. Yeah. Anyway, so we went to this thing and went to the Obelisk, and it was very nice. You're like 35 floors up in the air, and you're looking down on London, and you're getting served this gorgeous food and gorgeous wine. But the thing is, there was this crazy thing. The seats, right? And this is going to sound odd, so you're going to have to listen to me for a second. The seats, are square, which doesn't sound like a major deal, except the arm of the seats, the left and right arm of the seats are sort of sitting diagonally. So they're kind of like from one corner. So if you imagine a square, the right-hand corner, a right-hand side has got an arm, and the bottom has an arm, but the left-hand side and the front side don't have arms or any kind of supports. So you have to kind of sit diagonally across these seats. And the idea is that you're sitting diagonally looking out over the view, which is fine, except for when you want to sit and have a meal in a restaurant, when you're sort of sitting diagonally to the table, which is very odd. So I had a Men in Black moment. You know, when he pulls the table and goes, I had a moment of kind of like turning the chair very slowly round so that I was sitting diagonally but facing the table.
Got you.
So that was a bit poncy. But you know, it was 20 years. 20 years, so it's like, you know what? We only get to celebrate 20 years once, so let's go for it. So I had a steak. That was very nice. I had hand-cut chips. Very nice.
Very good.
Carol had a lovely steak, which was a T-bone. That was very nice.
A T-bone?
T-bone.
They do those now?
Oh, yeah. T-bone steak. And she had, like, veg and some extra bits and bobs. And then we had a big bottle of red wine. Australian, New World Red. Mm-hmm. I had a little chocolate pecan brownie.
Yeah.
And Carol had a raspberry sorbet with like a strawberry sort of choux pastry thing.
They call that a raspberry parfait.
Something like that.
It's another Prince song.
And it cost us 200 quid. I'm glad I'm kind of understand why we were 35 floors up, because I think I would have thrown myself off.
And you started up a GoFundMe for this, of course, didn't you?
Well, yeah. I'll be honest with you. It was very nice food, but it was definitely one of those. Okay, that's good. We're never doing this again. Oh my God!
How does it feel having 2 mortgages?
I don't know. I feel like I could have actually just stepped out and just out into space and just floated down, because my wallet was that light. I could have just Mary Poppins hanging onto my wallet all the way down. Whew. I mean, it was really nice, but fucking hell. So there you go. The Obelisk, ladies and gentlemen.
You go and get a McDonald's afterwards.
Yeah. I went for a KFC afterwards. we all sat around one milkshake. No, but yeah, other than that, what else did I do? Went to see Ant-Man. Saw Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay.
Which I thoroughly enjoyed. It's a little too long. It is fun.
Mm-hmm.
A little too long, I thought. But the end stinger takes all the fun and joy that you've had, and then basically goes, sucks it up, and just goes and spits it, because the first stinger is not a happy experience. But the second stinger, which isn't even that big a deal after the first one, is even more depressing. I don't know why. Most people didn't have a problem with it, but I watched the second stinger and I was like, oh my God, that's even worse. I can't say anything about it because spoilers and whatnot, but Jesus. I was like, oh, well, there you go then. Thanks for literally robbing my world of all joy. Thanks. Yep. Cheers. So that's Ant-Man 2. The other thing is also, I think without discussing it, but I think those two stingers may actually feed into Infinity War 2. So I'm kind of loath to say it, but I think people need to actually watch this film, because I think the tweak that's going to happen to Infinity War 4 or Avengers 4 is all based in that stinger. But anyway, I'm moving on. So I saw the Rain, spoke about that. What else? We've switched over to PlusNet. There you go. Our internet has been freed of the BT yoke, and we are now on PlusNet. So that's a thing.
That is.
It seems okay so far. And we can hear Elton and Jim, so that's a good start.
We certainly can.
So there you go. But that's fine. And that's about it really. I started drawing again. I don't know if that's just because I also looked after my brother's kids. Me and Carol looked after my brother's kids while they were having their wedding anniversary over the weekend.
Yeah.
Which is usual. It's fine. But you know what? Just a little tip for the top. If you ever get this situation again, because basically, my sister-in-law was looking after our girls while we were out at the obelisk.
Yeah.
But in return, we were looking after their kids for a weekend. So that's fine. We're looking for a weekend, maybe a little overbalanced. That's fine, but that's not for discussion on the podcast. But I just tell you one thing.
Yeah.
When you know that they're going back to their parents, what you do is you get them to make cupcakes, and then what you do, is you get as many colourings as you can possibly find, and put them in the icing, which is pure sugar. And then you got bright pink icing on bright green cakes, and then you got bright blue icing on bright pink cakes, and then you say to the kids, there you go, have a couple, because Mummy and Daddy are only going to want one or two. You shake them up, and then Mummy and Daddy arrive, and you go, look, they've made cakes. Bye. I think that was on Sunday, so I think they've just about stopped spinning now.
Ah, excellent.
There you go. Just a little tip from the top.
Yep.
Anyway.
All good.
Other than that, I watched Cannonball Run. Shall we discuss it?
Yes.
In
an awkward
I guess
style.
that's why we gathered here, isn't it?
I guess so.
Awkward style.
Yes. Let's roll the jingle for this wonderful trip up memory lane to lament the late passing of Burt Reynolds with this classic film. Roll the jingle. Burt.
Laugh me a laugh, grin me a grin, and then I know we can win. Dance me a dance, joke me a joke, and blow the clouds away. Play me a tune, sing me a song, and we can help life along. Just you and me, come on, sing together, we'll be okay. I said, rock on, Tommy, dance to a tune that this guitar sings. Rock
Right, okay, so the Cannonball Run. I nearly said Cannonball Run.
Rock on, Tommy.
Rock on, Tommy. Yes, sorry, the Cannonball Run. Yes, it's a film. He says, slowly working his way up the wiki. It is a film, a 1981 American Hong Kong comedy, in inverted commas, starring Burt Reynolds, Roger Moore, Dom DeLuise, Farrah Fawcett, and an all-star supporting cast. It was filmed in Panavision, wherever that is. Ha! So cinema joke. Never mind. Anyway. Bong, bong.
I've got another one.
Yeah.
Do you know why Cannonball don't have a TV show anymore?
Why?
Because they were fired.
Aha! Jesus.
In your face.
It's one shot. Right.
Yep.
Anyway, so it was directed by Hal Needham, produced by Hong Kong's Golden Harvest Films, and distributed by 20th Century Fox Films. The film is based on the 1979 running of an actual cross-country outlaw road race, beginning in Connecticut and ending in California. One of 1981's most successful films at the box office.
Holy shit.
Would you like to... It had a budget of 18 million. Do you want to take a guess how much, Dal?
What? How much it made?
Yes.
I reckon it made about 90 million.
Okay, Jim?
6 rosemary bleeds.
Those bleeds?
Up your nose.
Those bleeds there?
Up my nose? Okay. Elton?
66 million, I reckon.
Ooh, well, I'll split the difference. It was $72 million. $72 million, which actually put it as one of the more successful movies of that era. In fact, it came, I think, I'm just trying to find the actual fact, but it actually was the 6th highest grossing movie of 1981, right behind Raiders of the Lost Ark, On Golden Pond, Superman 2, Arthur and Stripes.
Wow.
There you go. There's lots of information about the development, but none of it's actually about the development of the film. Only the development of the the road race, and the fact that it references an awful lot references Smokey and the Bandit. The one thing I did find rather amusing was that the film was nominated for a Razzie for Worst Supporting Actress of Farrah Fawcett. It has a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes from 31 reviews. The Roger Ebert gave the film half a star out of 4, calling it an abdication of artistic responsibility at the lowest possible level of ambition. Variety described it as full of terribly inside showbiz jokes populated by what could be called Burt and Hal's Rat Pack. While Burt Reynolds himself later said of the film, I didn't like it. I did that film for all the wrong reasons. I never liked it. I did it to help out a friend of mine, Hal Needham, and I also felt it was immoral to turn down the kind of money they were offering me. I suppose I sold out, so I couldn't really object to what people wrote about it and wrote about me. So there you go. So even old Burt. So we purely picked the worst film for Burt to tribute him, really.
That's right.
Considering he didn't even like it himself. But anyway, it has a lot of good memories associated with it. I'm sure all of us have sat there and watched it back in the 80s and thought this was a really fun little movie.
Yep.
This is Rose Tinted Specs at its finest, ladies and gentlemen, I suspect. So we'll go around the table as per usual. So we'll just go round to you first, Elton. What did you think of the Cannonball Run, sir?
Oh, okay. Right. Well, this was another one of the collection from my granddad's pile that I was given on Betamax.
Mm-hmm.
So I have fond memories of this. Yep. And, okay, back in the day, it was fun. It was, you could leave it on in the background, do something else, and it was entertaining. My word, the world has moved on since, hasn't it?
Hasn't it just?
Wow. It's so far forward. It is just a massive jolly for everyone on there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a massive in-joke on the silver screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. It's It's a joke that everyone gets. If you're in there, if you're in front of that camera, if you're behind that camera, like the audience is, you're not involved in it. That's why all the goofs at the very end are the funniest bit.
Like a big Hollywood Beano. That's what it is.
Yeah, that is. If you like cars, then it does stiffen that rod a little bit, I suppose, with
Oh my God!
Wow.
with some of these cars.
Did you throw a rod while watching the Lamborghini by any chance, Elton?
Up like a piston.
Honestly, that Lamborghini in the beginning.
Yeah.
Number one, aren't we glad that we've got more steady cameras now? We got like steady focus to keep the car in the screen at all times. Because I swear there must be hills up in that helicopter because that was all over the place and couldn't keep track of it. But the opening of I thought this was the one where they changed the colour of the Countach. But
no,
I'm guessing that's number 2.
No.
I distinctly remember them getting a Countach and then spraying it down with water, changing the colour of it, and the police were after like a black car and ended up chasing a red car instead. And I was waiting for that to happen. But when you had that close-up of it as it's ripping through the desert, man, that was wicked. That was 12-year-old me with a poster on my wall of that car going, yeah, that's wicked. I love that. That looks so good. And the little wing at the front as well. Don't normally get that. It's just, oh, man, that's good. About the film, though, it's all about cars, cleavage, and stunts, really, isn't it? And not a lot more. And one big in-joke. The cars sometimes look really, really good. The cleavages are just preposterous. They are just thrown at the screen. It's not
Cleavage
even fun.
Yeah.
It's not even fun, though, is it? It's the way... I'll let someone else get into the politics of it because I've done that too many times now. But it's just not fun. Oh, I'm just going to pull down my zip. Yeah, okay, yeah, we know what you're going to do. Yeah. And we know how this joke is going to pan out towards the very end. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if it's a saving grace of it. Roger Moore, he's as dry as one of his martinis in his other films. He's... A different woman all the time. Flipping hell. And poor old Jackie Chan.
What?
Poor old Jackie Chan.
Every time they appeared. That
hasn't happened like that since one of our dinosaurs is missing. That was the last time that really happened. And you think, as soon as like the Subaru came on the screen, it was like, yeah. Wow, really?
Yeah,
that doesn't fly nowadays. You can't.
Neither did the Subaru, to be honest.
I don't even think anyone would even think about doing that. And I read in some trivia, Jackie Chan was very pissed off by being made out to be a Japanese man when really he is a Chinaman.
Yeah. I was about to mention that. There's also that as well. So I'll let everyone else dive in because there's one or two things I just was like, oh my God.
Yeah. What else did I have? The Doctor. I remember him being funnier when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I didn't get the finger joke when I was a kid. And now I get the finger joke. And I kind of wish I'd left it in the past.
Yeah.
It was that's that weird doctor with the weird eyes and the big finger and he keeps pointing it at people. And now I'm like, okay, right, he likes to stick your finger up your bottom and like bum rape you with his finger.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, that's not nice at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was, and there was...
This was awkward. This was a real awkward watch. I thought I was sitting down to a fun romp across America, And what I got was utter guff and weak-ass plot with very bad transitions and just racial stereotypes thrown all over the place. And it is... I'm glad it's down in 1981. I don't even... Maybe a remake of this would work, but I don't... You just got to forget about this film. This one's done. Just put it away. Never get it out of your locker again. No. I don't want to watch this ever again.
No. That's...
Thank you, Black Dog, for ruining another one of my memories.
Yeah.
But do you know what? I'm quite glad, because this doesn't deserve to have a good memory about it, because it's shit. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Clash of the Titans, you can still look back on that and still have fond memories of sitting around with your parents and watching all the animatronics and all the stop motion. You go, oh man, I remember when I really enjoyed this. You can't do this with this film. You sit around, I remember when they were racist. Yeah. No, no, fuck off. Don't like that. So, yeah. I was not impressed with this. I don't like this, and I'm glad I'm never going to see it again.
Yeah, cool. Okay, and how did you feel about Burt?
A bit annoying.
Yeah.
I know he's supposed to be like a sex symbol. I get that, but he's... I wouldn't say like he's a sex pest, because, you know, that's how the 80s was. But it's just, I just don't get it. I just don't get it at all.
Okie dokie. Well, there you go.
But I suppose in Smoking the Bandit, it would have worked better for me. But I'm worried about going back and watching them now.
I have it on fairly good authority that actually, no, it's not aged that well either.
Okay, so keep that in the past as well?
I think so.
I watched Smoking the Bandit fairly recently, and if you didn't like this, oh boy.
Yeah.
Other than the stunts done with actual cars and maniacs doing it, there is little to remember. It is a laugh-free zone.
Yeah.
Because just Burt Reynolds grinning isn't a joke.
And that laugh.
Stupid Southern sheriffs just aren't a joke.
No.
Smoking the Bandit, last time I watched it, was absolutely atrocious. Apart from the stunt work, which was still kind of like, my God, someone did that in a real car. That's impressive. But it's long stretches of fuck all in between.
See, even the stunt work in this, I thought I'd be more impressed. I think there were a lot of cuts in between things to make it look as if something had happened, and it really didn't quite, especially when Burt crashed the Porsche at the very beginning, ripping off its nose. And it's just a real hard cut to him face palming himself in the car. You're like,
yeah,
that's shit. That doesn't even work. How did that get past anyone?
Yeah. And
yeah, I'm there, sitting there watching it going, oh, that's not smooth at all. That's quite shit. The airplane landing was, I thought, quite impressive in the middle of the street. But then again, I think it might be done with lenses and making things look far away where they're zooming them in to focus.
Hold on. Darren's got a worried look on his face. Go on.
No, it's just, but what was it for? What was the point of that?
It didn't mean anything. It was so they could have a stunt of a plane landing on a road. Yeah. And that was the only reason for that to happen. Because they didn't have any other material.
Some fucking coked up writer thought, I know what will be good. Yeah, let's have them land the fucking plane in the street.
It is worth mentioning at this point that the writer was a guy whose name has escaped me, but he was actually just an American automobile journalist.
Was he?
Yeah. So his whole thing was about cars.
So what he's done, he's gone, this would look cool.
Yeah.
This scene would look cool. Number 3, this would look cool.
Yeah.
And we need a plane landing on a street, because we don't have that every day, do we? Okay, fine. Right, let's send that off and get it all sorted out.
That'll be quirky, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because we're all crazy and shit.
Oh, he's bonkers. Look.
Yeah. By the way, it also should be mentioned at this point that the safety wasn't all that. I'm just reading on IMDb right now. You know when Roger Moore pulls the smoke and basically that car behind him does what is probably the most spectacular crash I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that spectacular crash actually critically injured Heidi von Beltz, a 24-year-old stunt woman, because basically she was supposed to activate smoke on her car as well, and she did the stunt, but because the production was running behind schedule, the car made a wrong move, and she was not wearing restraints because the seat belts had been removed from a vehicle prior to the accident. So proper safety parts had not been delivered to the set, and filming resumed with the car not in a safe condition, and she survived but was left quadriplegic.
Jesus, man.
Yeah. So when it became clear that von Belt's personal injury lawsuit would exceed the available primary insurance coverage, the production's insurer, Interstate Fire, sued von Beltz and her employer, Stuntman Inc., for a declaratory judgment, saying that she was not covered in their policy. So they actually sued the person they put in danger, who was going to sue them because they had made
holy fucking
the whole
shit.
fucking thing a mess. Anyway, there you go.
But then again, she got into a car with no seatbelts.
Well, yeah, but apparently she was told by the stunt coordinator Bobby Bass, a friend of Hal Needham, the director, that it was going to be a piece of cake stunt.
Aren't they all, though? Aren't they
apparently.
all?
Anyway.
See, when that car spun out, that was one of the... Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, fucking hell.
That's a really impressive stunt. The way that thing spun, I'd imagine the person who... Was it her that actually did that stunt itself?
Yeah.
Flipping hell, man. Yeah, that was highly impressive.
Yeah, without any seatbelts.
Yeah.
That's a Richard Hammond special if ever I heard one.
Yeah, I imagine her brain is still spinning in her skull now.
Well, she died in October 28th, 2015 at the age of 60.
Wow.
Anyway, sorry about that. Sorry, it's just noticed that on IMDb. Anyway, sir, any additional thoughts, or we'll move on?
No, I'm going to let someone else kick it now.
Okie dokie. Jim, do you care to take a run up with your hobnail boots?
Okay. Now, I've actually seen this movie before, by not just back in the 80s, but a few years ago. So I had an inkling of what I was getting into. I was aware of this film. Shall we say, didn't live up to my fond memories of it, seeing it back in the day. So I was actually braced for worse.
Right.
Because this isn't the first Hal Needham film we've covered in recent Black Dog history.
No.
Because he was also responsible for Cactus Jack.
Yes.
Which was a few years earlier. And actually, I thought this was an improvement on Cactus Jack. And somewhere along the line, maybe he's got lucky, probably down to the cast, but he actually managed to get some funny bits in this. However, for me, the thing with the Cannonball Run is I think kind of there's obviously the dated elements to it. And it's one of those things, it's kind of, well, we can point at them and what have you, but at the end of the day, we can't change it unless we've got a time machine. So it's kind of I feel it's almost pointless banging on too much about it because done is done. After just draw a line and move on. We don't have to watch this ever again, thankfully.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I thought that Roger Moore was fun, and there were some sort of funny bits in it. But unfortunately, there's absolutely zero pace to the movie.
Yeah.
And considering it's a road race across America. It's just, it's still got that lovely Hal Needham direction, i.e., stuff just happens and the film ends. I think kind of the concept of this, illegal car race. I think that you've got a really fun concept there for like a live action wacky races. And they kind of half develop that idea and they introduce these characters. Then they sort of forget about most of them until they occasionally remember later on. It's like the Arab Sheikh, which I know is ghastly and stereotypical.
Yeah.
And you're kind of glad they forget about him. But they waste scenes on him at the front like he's going to be a major player. And then he appears about halfway through to give a ring to a waitress. When they just suddenly remembered he was there, and that's it. He doesn't reappear again. And then you have the rich businessman billionaire who is just there for the one joke of I'm going to do a wheelie all the way there.
Yep.
And it's just this sort of mad dog and the two rednecks in a car who kind of I can see kind of what the idea was, but Hal Needham and whichever chimp wrote the script it just isn't up to the job of delivering on this. It's just kind of it's really, I must admit there's bits that did amuse me, but it's kind of this is really like a 50-50 movie. You could edit this down to the good bits and get it probably into under half an hour.
Yeah, I think that's being generous, to be honest.
But, it's kind of, I don't know, it's just, I think comedy for a feature film is increasing as I get older. I think is a risky proposition. As I think this comedy, I think's natural home on the screen is in 30-minute slots or hour-long stand-up sets. The whole thing with a feature film, you've got to start telling a story, and that's telling a story and adding drama. Then you're not doing jokes. It's a hard balance to pull off at the best of times. But when your director's just an ex-stuntman larking around, fucking forget it. However, it was an improvement on Cactus Jack. He seemed to understand that you need something more than, than just restaging bits of cartoons he'd seen. But there was still an awful lot of this that was just flat as a pancake. And the bits that do work and did work for me, I think it's just largely down to the cast rather than anything in the direction or the actual script.
Yeah.
Some of the laughs, I must admit, were kind of for the wrong reason. Jesus, how pissed is Dean Martin?
Yeah.
He's absolutely he's one of the drunkest people I've ever seen on the screen.
Yeah, he's completely and utterly fucked.
He's absolutely blotto in every scene. Unbelievable. But you know what I mean? I don't know. It's I can understand why this, obviously the 80s were a simpler time, and I think the whole Burt Reynolds car chase, Hal Needham infection culture suffered. Well, it's one of those things. I think at any given time in any culture, there's people go nuts about something, and then a decade elapses, and people look back and go, "What were we all thinking?"
Yep.
And I don't think this is the most egregious example. I think this is actually got some redeeming features, unlike, say, Cactus Jack. And Jesus God, Smokey and the Bandit, when I rewatched that a couple of years ago, it was fucking awful. It was just kind of like, Jesus Christ, why was this so huge? It's absolutely interminable. You know what I mean? It's kind of...
Yeah.
It says something when kind of the show that ripped it off, The Dukes of Hazzard, managed to be way more witty and entertaining than the original.
Yeah.
That says it all, really. But, I don't know. It's on the Burt front, I think Reynolds does have a certain amount of charm to it. I think he is quite sleazy, but he he's almost the same compared to how he is in the original Smokey and the Bandit, where he is just an arsehole.
Yeah.
And it's just him being an arsehole and grinning is supposed to be likable qualities. Whereas in this, there's things in here where you think, give this few bits of paper you've got here and give them to someone who can actually write. No, put it down, Chimp. Have a bunk, have a banana. There you go.
Yeah.
Hal Needham, look, can't get it, go crush it. Fuck off. And then give this to somebody else. The concepts and the characters are kind of there to be worked up. But it's kind of, this just does feel like someone's home movie.
Yeah, it does. It's got that kind of like, this is just some shit we were doing because we had like a couple of days doing some shit, just filming a road.
Just to goof around. And I mean, I think it is that thing that I think everyone says of the Cannonball Run, who has come back to it, I think, is the outtakes are the most consistently funny bit. And I think this is a case of where everyone on the set had a great time.
Yeah.
But didn't really capture that on the finished product, sadly.
No, sadly not. Okie dokie. Right. In which case, I guess we shall move on to you then, Mr. B. What do you think of the Cannonball Run?
Well, this is a really kind of, I mean, I kind of knew what to expect.
Right.
Watching it. It's a film from the 70s that I liked when I was a lot younger. Or 80s, I should say.
80s.
So it was bound to be quite shocking when I got back in and watched it and actually see it with a different pair of eyes. Yeah, it is. It's a pretty terrible film. There are things that have already been pointed out, but another thing I'll point out, there is even a section where Burt Reynolds kidnaps someone in a van and then uses gas to, incapacitate them, to make them do what he wants.
Yeah, the same person who then the very next scene confesses to the driver of the van that she was kidnapped in that she doesn't wear underwear.
Yeah. Oh, but it's okay because as he reassures her, hey, we're racers, not rapists.
Oh, well, that's all right.
It's okay then. That's fine. That makes it all okay. It really does. Fuck my life. Yeah. It's just there's so much wrong with this film, and I know people say, "Well, it's of its time," blah blah blah. Oh, so it's all right. Yeah. But then we used to do an awful lot of terrible things in the past that doesn't make them doesn't make them right. You can't say, "Oh, it's all right to stab that bloke because of you didn't like the way that he looks." Because that's what it was like back then. It was, we were all like that. It's fine. Yeah, no, it's just not all right. This is why we've changed. This is why we've come this far now.
Some would argue it's still not far enough. But
no, it's not far enough. Right? We're not actually. We're not there yet. We're not. We've not finished our journey. Right? This is it. We're still on that journey, but
we're further along.
I was going to say yes. It should give you some hope for the future that people actually feel uncomfortable watching this kind of thing now.
Yeah.
So that's one thing you can take from it is that we have come that far. It's because it is the way it treats certain individuals in this is pretty terrible. I don't think there's any female characters in this film that get any good lines at all. It's all the guys. There's a lot of boob references.
There's maximum boobage.
There's maximum boobage.
If you don't have a cleavage, you don't get in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And even Dom DeLuise has got a big cleavage. No, sorry.
Yeah. And don't even get me started on the bit where you've got fucking he's drunk off his fucking gourd, Dean Martin, right? Okay. And he's how old is he in this?
About 706.
706 is a bit where he's surrounded by very young girls.
Oh yes,
really young girls.
And he's using the fact that he's using the fact that he's a priest to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're talking about how, if we were Methodists, we'd be getting laid by now.
Yep.
It's dodgy, 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 dodgy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how did you feel about Burt?
How do I feel about Burt?
Yeah.
He's been in 2 of these films, and I'm pretty sure the other one is pretty much like this. Smokey and the Bandit, which has got, as Jim has said, it's got problems, with how it handles, people of race and stuff like that, of colour. Yeah. And women in general. So, I'm sorry, Bert. I know you didn't like this movie, but
you still took the money.
You still took the money. You still did it.
Yeah.
We're only just finding out now that you didn't like it. So,
yeah.
Earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you made other films that were like this.
It's the Michael Caine thing. I didn't like the movie, but I saw the house that it bought.
Yeah.
And that was very nice, thank you. Yeah. So you weren't impressed then, basically, yet?
No, it's a really uncomfortable watch. It's just...
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was going to say, because, feel free to jump in on this, but it's just like, because when I went to watch it was Sunday afternoon.
Right.
And because I thought, well, you know what it is? It's just a race across America. It's wacky races. That's how I remember it. As Jim said, it's wacky races. That was it. So I thought, well, you know what? It's a memory from my childhood, and it's 1981. So I was 10 when I saw it the first time.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, you know what? Fine. You know what? Let's get Katie and Lisa to sit down and watch it with me. And you know that a film is problematic when a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old get to basically, well, there was the one scene with the girls in the Lamborghini getting their boobs out, and then there was the reference to Sammy Davis Jr. by Burt Reynolds as the chocolate monk.
Right.
And at that point, Katie was just like, yeah, I'm done. And she got up and just walked off. And then Lisa just sort of sat there for about 5 more minutes, and then the boobs came out again for another discussion with another bunch of police officers.
Yeah.
And she was just like, yeah, I'm done. So when a 10-year-old, or when an 11-year-old and a 14-year-old can see the problematic issues of this film and would rather not watch it, you're like, yeah, this film's got problems. To be quite honest, and this is kind of, I don't want anyone to jump to conclusions with what I'm saying right now, but the thing is, there is the it was different back in the 70s, 80s, whatever argument, and that's fine. You can't go back and change what's already been made. You can judge it by your own standards, and that's fine. The problem here is that when I first watched it, I didn't obviously notice things, so like with Jack Elam's Doctor, was it Frankenstein? It wasn't Frankenstein, was it? It was Van Helsing.
Actually, funny enough, he used to be in a TV series called Struck by Lightning.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, where he played a groundskeeper who was, it was suspected he's like Frankenstein's monster,
right?
Because he lurches around like Frankenstein's monster in that show.
Yeah,
and it says struck by lightning. He keeps getting struck by lightning,
right?
And it's he survives every single time.
Yeah. Oh right. Sorry, I've never...
But it's the whole thing of the Frankenstein.
Oh right, okay, I see. Yeah. I see the gag. Yeah,
he's basically been typecast.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I didn't follow you for a second there, but yeah, no, cool. I mean, I just kind of gone off a bit of the rails a bit, but the thing with this film was that you could watch films like, for example, Blazing Saddles or Animal House, and they all have their own issues of when you look back on them. And, comedies of that era always will. The thing is that you could see with something like Blazing Saddles, for example, that it was actually highlighting issues by making various racist gags and all this sort of thing. It wasn't actually condoning them. It was actually using them to condemn. Yep. And in the case of Animal House, it was outrageous and it was basically a teen sex comedy. But the thing is, as I think I've said before in other reviews on things like this, it's kind of almost like you're buying the ticket knowing what you're getting into. Whereas, so it's not condoning it, but it's like if you buy a ticket to a porn film, don't be surprised if you start seeing men and women's wobbly bits floating all over the place. You kind of know what you've bought the ticket to. Whereas,
well, I don't know, if I buy a ticket for that and then I see bits floating all over the place, it's like, I'm not quite sure what I've paid my money for there.
Ghost Dingus 47.
There we go.
No, anyway, but the thing is, what the problem with something like Cannonball Run was it's sold as this wholesome family comedy when there's nothing about it that's even remotely interesting, funny. It just seemed like it was just like, oh, see that person, you recognise them from a thing, and the problem is that those kind of gags fell flat almost immediately. Like the guy, like the one who was doing all the voices, who was in it for about 7.5 seconds, just long enough to do a so topical fucking, was it Richard Nixon impression, and drive a car through the side of a hotel.
Yep.
It was just like, I don't get it. I didn't get it then, and I certainly don't get it now. And the problem is, it's like comedy has a shelf life if it's trying to be political or pop culture references. So even if you took away all the problematic stuff, it wasn't very funny. The whole thing of the wheeling across the state, well, that's lovely, but the gag fell flat after about 2 seconds, and they kept coming back to it. Like they just had to kind of remind you this thing was still happening. The fucking Japanese car thing was really odd. The thing was, it's like, when we're saying about problematic politics and all that kind of stuff, yeah. Even the porn that Jackie Chan puts on in the car was really dodgy porn. It was like, it was porn about someone who gets kidnapped.
She's got kidnapped, but
yeah,
well, that's a real porn film, though.
Yeah, is it?
It's actually on the credits. Thanks for letting us use the clip.
Oh, for God's sakes.
She's going to be loved a different way.
She's going to be loved a different way, and she will come to accept it. It's like...
if you're doing comedy and you're going to have a porn scene, you do it like John Landis did in American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, see you next Wednesday.
Yeah, you film your own bit of porn.
Like, who are you?
Send it up.
Oh,
you don't actually go behind the ring door. That's the biggest film porn film. Let's just write them a check and get a clip and put that in the film.
Yeah,
it's like what?
Yeah, exactly. I'm literally watching this at this point with my daughters, and I'm sort of thinking, okay, it's like Jesus H Christ, and I just suddenly thought, this is what? Is this a PG? How the fuck? And it's just, and then like I say, then you've got all the racial stereotyping stuff. Every time you see anyone with a southern accent, they're a hillbilly. There's more references to trucks and beer driving than you could shake a stick at. There's kidnapping. There's drug taking. There's and
drink driving.
Fair enough. But that's, let's be honest, they're fucking drink driving in The Nice Guys and that was only out last year or the year before. And, I've not got a problem with that in terms of like for a story narrative thing. But when you start getting like Sammy Davis Jr. described as the chocolate monk, when you start getting Dean Martin clearly pissed out of his head, dressed as a priest, trying to feel up what looks like a gaggle of 18-year-old girls. When you get like the Lamborghini girls who are in the fastest car. Let's not forget that. They're in the fastest car, yet somehow they are always pulled over just so we can have constantly referring to them in cat suits with a sexy bit of saxophone and then their tits out. You know, if I heard that moment once, I heard it 1,000 times. I was fucking sick of it. And the whole thing was just unfunny, and the Roger Moore bit was good for about 2 seconds when he meets his mother, and she kind of outlines the plot that really he's not Roger Moore, he's delusional, and he's had work done to look like Roger Moore. That was a good gag because you kind of set up the whole thing. But within 10 seconds, it's just him in the car going, "Oh, yes, I'm Roger Moore. I'm going to press this button, and it's going to do a thing that I did in James Bond." Over and over and over again. Even the gags themselves were just played out from start to finish. The thing with Dom DeLuise as him, I remember being hysterically funny. And then I watched it, and it was just like, no, this is incredibly embarrassing. This is tedious.
What surprised me, actually, is Captain Chaos is actually barely in it.
Yeah.
They talk about him for most of the film, and you don't see him.
No.
It's only at the end you get it. He's there at the start, then he disappears, then back at the end. And it just kind of...
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what... I don't know, it's that thing of how your memory, I think someone once said to make a good film, you need so many memorable moments, and people remember those bits.
Yeah.
And forget everything else.
Yeah.
And Captain Chaos clearly, I thought, was popping up all through the film.
I think that's because...
It really isn't.
Yeah, I think that's because in the second one, he appears a lot more.
Quite, yeah, possibly, yes.
But the problem is also with that kind of Captain Chaos character is... again, they kind of tie it to this whole thing of, like, he's never had any friends, and JJ's his best friend, and even JJ doesn't like him. And it's just like, it's actually quite grim. And, this guy's clearly having some kind of mental breakdown, but I don't know, maybe I'm oversensitizing that bit, but it's just, everything about this was criminally unfunny. And just... It just didn't. I just hated every second of it. Every mortal second of it. I was just sitting there going, oh my God. And when they start doing random things, like, the bit with the Porsche taking the front of the Porsche off, or, driving through the front of the hotel, or driving into the pool, and it's seemingly consequence-free. There's 1 minute he just gets stopped by the police. 2 seconds later, oh, he's still in the car. He's in another car. Yeah. That's happened. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what? And the whole thing, and I tell you what, the bit when Beauty's first introduced. Firstly, Beauty. They call her Beauty because he can't remember her name and doesn't bother ever to find out.
No.
Right?
Not at all.
But she accepts it. And she basically just says, I like trees. That's her entire body of her entire character.
So it just reminds me of that.
It's a running joke that never delivers on, though.
Yeah,
because she has this trees monologue that she never gets the end of, and in a good comedy, you'd eventually get to the end and there'd be something funny there.
Yeah,
but they start doing it. They do it a bit, then about halfway through, can't be bothered anymore.
Yeah, and then there's
disappears.
And there's the moral warrior bloke. Who is sitting beside her, and he's pretty much as lecherous as you could possibly be.
Yep.
Sitting right beside her, looking down her top from the start. And you could kind of go, okay, fine. You know what? This is showing the hypocrisy of, these moral guardians who are no better than anyone else. Fine. But that gag just disappears, and all it just turns into is he was a dirty old man looking down her top.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's just literally just there to say, I like trees, I'm a photographer, For what reason? For who? Where? And then I've fallen for my kidnapper in the worst case of Stockholm Syndrome I've ever seen outside of that bloody Jennifer Lawrence movie with Chris Pratt. And then on top of that, hey, guess what? I'm not wearing any pants. That's her entire story arc. And then they get into a random fight with Peter Fonda and a bunch of Hell's Angels for no discernible reason. It's just fucking nonsense.
Well, I think at that point they've just got to, okay, right, we need another scene here. And that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Like, you guys have said it, it should have been like a proper wacky races. And I've never really seen it like that. Really, it should have, really.
Yeah.
But you have all the elements of a wacky race. You have the fast car, you have the slow car, you have the one with the gadgets, you have the one that can travel rocket launch itself up into the air. You think you've got all of these things that you can combine to make a real good race against each other. And it just it's like they've got all the ingredients in front of them and they don't realize what they could have. And yet they're like, well, no, we've got to make it funny because, Burt Reynolds. And, we're all getting pissed anyway, so we're not going to do many stunts. So, fuck it, let's just have some fun.
Yeah.
That's what they've said.
Yeah, it just does feel like... It just feels like it is just a massive jolly and they just decided to film it. I mean, the fact of the matter is that Burt Reynolds got paid $5 million for essentially 4 weeks' worth of work. And none of the actors actually were filmed for more than 3 days. Not a single one of them.
Wow.
So it's just wanking about. It was just appalling. It was really, really fucking awful.
Well, the thing is, they actually balk the entire race concept.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they have this concept that it's all on the time clocks. So it doesn't actually matter who punches the clock first. Because you all started at fucking different times anyway.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. That's right. There's nothing
and
to worry about.
And then it's a massive cheat at the end as well.
You don't even find out who won.
No. Well, I mean, arguably, it's kind of implied that it's the girls with the it's with the girls in the Lamborghini, but I don't know. Really doesn't do anything. I don't know. It just kind of.
So like the big fight scene at the end. I mean, that was one thing that did make me laugh because it was kind of as a joke I didn't get originally. Going, the lead of the Hells Angels is Peter Fonda, who made his name doing Hells Angels exploitation movies. Roger Corman.
Yeah.
That's quite funny. But that scene, it just seemed to me watching it this time, it's kind of. We thought, how did Blazing Saddles end? Oh, they had a big punch-up, Western style.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just... And then everyone stands there and laughs at him coming up as, I'm Captain USA. It's a living. And you're like, right? This is a gag.
Captain America, as he originally says.
Yeah.
And then clearly someone said,
Copyright.
Marvel are a bit lawyer happy.
Yeah.
Can we do that again?
Yeah. It's just bollocks. It was absolute fucking crap. Over on the Facebook group, we had some feedback on this as well. Like I say, we don't normally do feedback, but I did ask for some on the banner on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast. And basically, let's go through it. Jeffrey Mark Hyman, McJeffrick, as he used to be known, said, "This is a crude, juvenile, ridiculous movie. And I love it. Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise make a fantastic double act. Moore's self-parody is a delight. I do find all the drinking and driving and the kidnapping and drugging of Farrah Fawcett troubling, though." Whereas Sean McGowan says, okay, this one is a classic, a staple of childhood film viewing, and I will defend it until the end. And the end. Holy shit, this is bad. Cringeworthy bad. I could take it if it was just corny, but this is kind of racist, sexist. It's beyond the point of excusing it as being a product of its time. It makes me afraid to watch things like Smokey and the Bandit, lest I destroy an entire childhood nostalgia bank. Still, I love the bloopers. It's the only part of this film that has actually aged well. Yeah, Alan Wilby was still pondering whether or not to watch the film, and we have yet to hear back from him. Martin Thompson said, "My dad loves this type of film, the Gumball Rally, Smokey and the Bandit. It was fun to watch, but it hasn't aged well. I was surprised to see Roger Moore, but he looked like he was having a lot of fun, just like the rest of the cast they assembled. They assembled so many people that he had no idea how to handle them all, and it takes a while to get going, and then not much actual racing as they keep being stopped by the police before it's time for the race to just end." Yeah, Michael Cornett said, this in my memory it just reeks of the era when the 70s were merging uncomfortably into the 80s. Wow, basically, sorry, I'm just going through other comments. Also Michael Cornett said, Burt Reynolds, the Belly Stabler says, Burt Reynolds appealed to a certain segment of good old boys in American society who saw him as an aspirational figure with his fast cars, gorgeous gals, and all that. He was the sort of redneck James Bond with his adventurers in the American South and or Heartland, right? With rather than exotic locales. This is also the time of the trucking craze, when the life on the open road was the height of freedom and the American dream. His heyday was my early teens, and all the guys would eagerly watch his flicks on TV because they wanted to be him. Me, on the other hand, I wanted to be the Saint, or John Steed instead. Which is fair dues. I think a lot better thing to aspire to be honest, after seeing this film. The other thing I was going to say was, the guy, I mentioned it last week, Jamie Farr, who was
Your own Farr.
Yeah, who was Klinger in MASH.
Yes, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah, turning up as the Arab, the extremely racist Muslim Arab.
That was his name.
Running round.
I thought it. Sorry, I thought it was Kramer, not.
No.
What was his name in it?
Klinger.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it was just. Oh man, he was just running around sort of chucking money at everyone. It was like, stereotype 101. I have a Rolls Royce. I do not care. I shall buy your house. Take my money. Here, take this money. I will buy you for my harem. Oh, it's just like, fucking hellfire. Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to say. Yeah, if you want to read about all the cars and whatnot that are in it, I'm sure there are better places to go to than listening to this podcast. Yeah, but it's just fucking terrible. Has anyone got anything else to say about it before we move on?
Hell no.
Cool. Okay then. Well then, let's just draw a veil over the life and times of Burt Reynolds, who we should have been celebrating but ended up commiserating with this fucking movie.
We should watch Boogie Nights.
Yeah, but he's not even in it for that long.
No, that's true.
I mean,
This a Deliverance.
Well, exactly. But again,
one thing I would add: don't watch Smokey and the Bandit.
No, do not, and certainly don't watch.
Really don't.
No, and certainly don't watch the second one. That's even worse.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah. So, let's just draw a veil over that. Rest in peace, Burt Reynolds. Wish you were in films we could actually watch in this more enlightened time. So, yeah, let's move on. So, we're going back to the film that we were supposed to watch this week, but we're actually watching next week, which is, yay, thumbs up, it's Warcraft. Yay.
Yay.
I've a bit of a connection to this.
You do.
Before coming along to this.
Go on.
Coming along tonight. I was doing a bit of a clear out of old stuff, and I found 4 copies, 2 of which were expansion packs for World of Warcraft, and I've binned the lot. So, that's gone straight in the bin.
Ah, right. Okay.
I used to have a love of it, but not anymore. I quit the gym.
You quit it?
I quit the gym. I quit Westeros.
Westeros?
Or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah. Okay. Are you looking forward to seeing Warcraft, the movie?
Well, I've actually seen it already. I've actually watched this just to see, what the references are like and stuff like this. And it just didn't really do anything for me. As a fan of the game originally, it just didn't speak to me, as they say.
Okay. So you're not looking forward to it next week?
No, it's going to be a bit of a hard one because it's a bit of a long film.
Yeah, it just feels long.
Yeah. You're going to tell me it's 45 minutes or something, aren't you?
Pretty much.
It's like 2 hours.
Okay. So, Jim, I know you're not around next week.
No, I'm going on my holidays, going on a road trip that will take me down to the shindig.
Hey, so you're gonna escape this. You're gonna escape this.
Yes, I mean Birmingham to the League of Gentlemen this weekend, and then going to spend some time in Wiltshire and a few other places, and then rock up in London.
Hey,
yes.
Cool.
And I quite enjoyed the original Warcraft RTS games.
Yes.
I never got involved in the massively multiplayer
cash cow,
annoying each other people and give people money. Because by that point, I couldn't believe Blizzard hadn't been sued to death by Games Workshop for infringing intellectual property rights. But that's another story.
Yeah. Well, you never know. There may be time.
So I've never seen this, but if I get the chance, I will watch it and I will record something. And
hey, my God, go back.
Given the film's reputation, I feel I need to show solidarity.
Go back to the days of Jim's final feedback before the podcast closes. Oh my word! Wow, that'll be a way to celebrate entering our 10th year, won't it?
Oh, it certainly will. Well, we've entered it now. We are in the 10th year.
Oh yeah, because because we actually started on the 9th of September, didn't we?
That's right. I just turned 40. So
and you're how long?
49 now.
Yeah, so we're now into the 10th year of the Black Dog.
Yep.
Wow. Well, there you go. That's a thing. So
what do you think we should do for celebrate our 10 years? Do you think we should build a life-size mock-up of the Death Star and recreate the Death Star run?
I think we should just draw a veil over the whole thing and just bury it in the sand. Leave it with its head sticking out as a warning to others for the futile nature of podcasting. What?
As we're leading up to the last episode, just before we hit 10, we could quieten the volume on each episode as it goes, so it gets to non-existence. So literally, the last episode is just silence.
Well,
the way it's like fading out.
Yeah, I could just leave it recording sort of overnight and just listen to you just nod off.
You could do.
Then it could just be the whole episode could just be your contribution as you nod off right about 11:30.
Yep. As you hear the thud of my head hitting the floor.
Dumph.
Where I've gone to sleep at a funny angle.
Yeah. Yeah, a 16-hour clip show of all the times when you fell asleep.
Yep.
Anyway, so, well, here we go. So we're in the 10th year. This is it. This is year 10 now. Bizarrely, though, that'll be year 11 on podcast because the way it numbers it, you can't have number 0. So, I don't know. Bizarre. So, it'll be year 11 if you've got iTunes. You'll suddenly see, which is very odd. Anyway, Elton.
Yes, I've seen it.
Yes. And?
It's not Duncan Jones's finest moment.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's what I'm going to say about that.
Okie dokie.
Although I think I watched it in a cloud of Christmas drink and thought, I'll just give this a go. And gave it a go over maybe a day or two. and so didn't really fully watch it because I didn't really engage with it. I got no beef with it, but I've got no history with Warcraft either. I never played the games, so it's kind of bouncing off of me. So I'm interested on how I feel about it this time round.
Okay. I don't know how much of this I'm repeating from the last week, but basically my love of fantasy films can be summed up as not very strong. I'll be honest with you. I can't remember why I put this one on. I thought I was being funny, but or maybe it was just one of those ones that was just on Netflix at the time when I looked at it.
That'll learn you.
But Duncan Jones has made one good film, and that was Moon. Everything else, including Mute, which was just a massive mistake. But yeah, when Sam Raimi turns down a film in terms of Warcraft, then you know you're in trouble. And films which are hail thou, verily they shall go to get the egg whisk of Ruth and Dave and lob it into the fires of Flibblejib. It's just like, here's a wizard of the realm of the Flargendars. It's just like, I'm out. I'm pretty much out. There's not many fantasy films to start with that work for me. And by fantasy, I mean Tolkien-esque style traditional fantasy. But so I wasn't on the best of terms with this film in the first place, and then
it's also a video game adaptation.
Yeah, which is
a unique cinema genre, shall we say?
Yes, with a less than lustrous history, to be honest. Because let's be honest, have there ever been an actual good video game adaptation yet? I'll take that as a no.
Silent Hill came close.
Oof, really?
I thought so.
Fair dues. That's fair. Do you think any, Darren? Can you think of any?
Any films that were
video game adaptations?
The video game adaptations.
Yeah. I genuinely can't think of one. I mean, the closest, I guess, is the latest Tomb Raider one, but even that's kind of a bit. No, no. I think I'm taking your silence to be no.
It sort of does, but I mean, with every Tomb Raider movie, the Tomb Raider, the actual Lara Croft that is. The version of Lara Croft which is prevalent at that time the movie comes out, they normally cover it anyway. They normally get it. I mean, with Lara Croft, it's like running around tomb, jumping, swinging, pulling levers. You know, don't give me all that. Well, what about all that stuff about her dad? Oh, come on, who the fuck is interested in that? You just want to get in and play the game. That's it, you know.
Yeah, so... Okay.
It kind of, and the new one, I thought was better than the ones that came previously. I thought it was an improvement over them.
Yeah.
And plus it's the new Lara Croft, which I like anyway, the new version.
But otherwise, no video games, films.
Unfortunately, no.
No,
there hasn't been one that I can remember.
No. Assassin's Creed was looking promising, but that turned out to be dog egg.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
Seriously. Okay. Well, never mind. Maybe I'll change my mind on Warcraft. Maybe I won't. But yes, we shall be doing Warcraft next week. So do check it out. It's on Netflix. And yes, and now we shall move away and say goodbye. But before we do, Jim, do you want to tell us what's coming up on Hypnagoria in the coming weeks?
Well, for the foreseeable next few weeks, we are still doing my serialized reading Over the Shadow over Innsmouth, which is going to take us up to my 400th episode.
And what will you be doing for that, or are you not going to reveal?
That's a good question.
Fine.
There's things in development, shall we say, and hopefully it'll all come together in time at the end.
Right. Cool.
Or it might not.
Or it might not.
But I won't do a clip show, because clip shows are rubbish and a lot of editing work for me.
Yeah. Okay then. And what about you, Elton?
I'm due to record this Thursday on Shonky Lab, and the subject will be, where were you when that massive thing happened in the world? I.e., where were you when shit went down, and do you remember exactly where you were standing when, i.e., Diana died, or the Twin Towers, etc.?
Yeah, I've done my Twin Towers thing, I think, more than a few times. So, yeah. Okay.
But I've just worked it out. That also coincides neatly, and I didn't plan this. That would be the 10th anniversary of me releasing my very first podcast episode.
Ooh. And where were you when you released your first podcast episode?
Well, yeah, I could ask that question, couldn't I?
Yeah. There you go. Where were you when you first heard Shonky Lab, or when you heard Apotheosis of a Bombast, or...
Oh, man.
Where were you? See, I'll help you out with your production stuff. All right, then.
I need as much help as I can get.
Okay. I don't think that's the case. Right. Okay, and where can we find that, sir?
You can find all the stuff I do over at rogue2media.com.
Brilliant. Okie dokie. And, for us, like I say, we'll be doing the Predator pubcast, which will be out on Friday, and if not before, if I'm feeling particularly industrious, it might even be out on Thursday. You can see some of my artwork going up on Instagram again now that I'm back to drawing and shit. That may only be a flash in the pan thing. So you go to instagram.com/cartoonbeardy. Sorry, Darren just showed me something. I'll
zip it back up now.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks very much. And on Twitter, you can find us on. Well, I'm on Cartoon Beardy. Jim,
Hypnagoria,
Elton
McManus,
Darren,
Sticklepunk.
There you go. And so that's that. And finally, our Patreon is there over at patreon.com/Black Dog Podcast. And like I say, if enough people show interest or voice interest for a 5-film Sharknado fest, and on Facebook group or on Twitter, because we're on at Black Dog Podcast, then we'll set up something on Patreon for a specific tier for a specific session, I guess. We'll see how that goes. I'm already regretting saying that. But anyway, there you go. So, that's it. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Elton.
No problem.
Okie dokie. And we'll see you all next week for Warcraft. Until then, tatty bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
Oh, bollocks to it.